Jose, first of all, great to see you and congratulations. What does it mean to you to be on the Hall of Fame at the LMA?
Of course, I'm very flattered, I'm very honored. But more important than that is my happiness to see some good friends, especially this older generation, the generation before my arrival in England. It's amazing to see them all, um, and really great emotion. Mr. Roy Hodgson, Sir Alex, Martin O'Neill. It's amazing to see them.
I'm sure you had more than half an eye on what was happening last week with two of your former clubs in Manchester United and Tottenham. Tottenham Hotspur finally got that trophy. Were you leaning towards either side in who you wanted to win, and what impact do you think that outcome of that game will have on both clubs moving forward?
The impact is obvious. Tottenham plays Champions League, and of course for Mr. Levy, the millions that the Champions League gives for him is the best news. For the fans, for the players, for Ange, is the title. And yes, the game was not amazing, but they made history for Tottenham because Tottenham didn't have a trophy for so many years. From what I read, it's just what I read. The impact on Manchester United, of course, is huge in the sense of for how many years Man United is not involved in any European competition. But at the same time, it looks like they are supporting Ruben. They are giving him time and conditions to go forward. And that's, as I read some quotes from him, saying that he's happy that he come and had already this 6 months. When I went to Porto, it happened the same to me. I went in January. I had a difficult 6 months. We were struggling even to qualify for UEFA Cup. And then happened what happened 2 days after. So, but when you ask me if I was cheering, I was divided because by one side, I love United. I have a fantastic relation with Ruben. But in the other side, when I saw Sonny crying with the cup, and also for Tottenham fans, as of course a special feeling. So,
Jose, you're the only manager to have won all 3 European trophies. Your former club are in with a big chance of emulating what you've done individually. What would it mean to you and to Chelsea, do you think, to get the full set?
No, in this moment there is one coach, one player. Me and Emerson. What means for Emerson, only him can say. What means for me means my big tattoo on my arm, because I'm the only one to do it. I think Chelsea is a club that wants to win Champions Leagues, not conference leagues, but it's a trophy. And to be the only club in the world to get all 3 is amazing. But attention with Betis. I think Betis can compete. They have a team, they have an experienced coach, they have a great mentality too. So I think it's going to be a good final.
Jose, I know you've got to go, but very final question. Inter Milan 2010, you were the boss when they won the Champions League. They're back in the final on Saturday. What chance do you give them, and how much are you hoping that they can return that Champions League to the San Siro?
I'm going to be very naughty, but very honest. I was worried they could win the treble, because I didn't want them to win the treble. The treble is mine. But now that they lost the championship and the Italian Cup, I would love them to win the Champions League. But of course, Luis Enrique is doing an amazing job in Paris. He transformed the team. They lost, let's say, the player number 1, but they rebuilt it in a fantastic way. So if Luis win, I'm also happy for him.
Developing transfer news reaching us. Kaveh Solokol has the latest. Won't give it away, but perhaps this is a bit of a clue. Kaveh, what can you tell us?
Well, Manchester United have contacted Wolves to discuss paying Matheus Cunha's release clause. Now, the release clause is £62.5 million. And what Manchester United are proposing is to pay that release clause in 5 payments. But I think Wolves' position is no, you have to stick to the terms of the contract. And the release clause in the contract says that it has to be paid in full in 3 payments over 2 years. So at the moment, there's a little bit of a sort of disagreement. One side, Manchester United, want to pay in 5 instalments. Wolves saying, no, it has to be paid in 3. That is where we are. But look, we know this release clause exists. We know that Manchester United want to sign the player. There's now been club-to-club contact as well. And we know for a fact as well that Matheus Cunha would like to move to Manchester United as long as this release clause is triggered.
What's your feeling on it?
My feeling is still that the deal will happen because Manchester United have moved so quickly. The season only ended 2 days ago. We were telling you last week that they were going to try and pay this release clause, trigger it as soon as the season ended. 48 hours after the season has ended, that is exactly what they're doing. Even though the first team are now in Kuala Lumpur, paying these couple of games in the Far East before coming back and having their summer holiday. But I think it shows you that Manchester United mean business. It shows you that they are going to back Ruben Amorim. Obviously, it's been a very, very disappointing season, but Amorim has spoken to his players. He said the past is the past. Forget about last season. Let's consign it to the history books. Let's play these games we've got now. Let's strengthen the squad. Some players will be coming in. Some players will be going as well. Let's regroup, refocus and come back stronger for next season. I think Cunha will be a Manchester United player pretty soon, but you can see this from Wolves' perspective as well. Wolves say, we gave him a new contract. He signed a new contract in January. It's got this clause in it. It's very clear in black and white. And if United want the player, they have to stick to the terms of the contract.
But now we're going to talk transfers. We're less than a week away from the transfer window opening for a 10-day period, and we could see some famous names make moves. Speaking of famous names, our chief reporter, Kaveh Solokol, is here. Kaveh, good to see you. Bruno Fernandes, he's a pretty famous name. Is he on the move?
Well, it could be. Saudi Arabian club Al Hilal really want to sign him, and they're playing in the Club World Cup next month, so they can use this window from June the 1st to June the 10th to sign him. But Manchester United have made their position very clear. They don't want to sell the player. But you and I both know the way the football business works. Every player does have his price. And there are reports that Al Hilal are willing to pay £100 million for him and give him an incredible tax-free long-term contract as well. So I think in the next few days, there is a real decision for Manchester United to make because the clock is ticking. Al Hilal want to sign players for the Club World Cup.
That's interesting. Well, Ruben Amorim is in Kuala Lumpur with his United team. They're on that post-season tour. He was asked whether they'll be busy this summer in the market.
I have to say that for us not to be in the Champions League could be an advantage to perform well, to perform better, to prepare better the games, to build that core that we need for the future. So I think it's a good thing for us to take advantage, not to have European games.
So he's telling us not to expect much. How can they get Matheus Cunha through the door then?
Well, look, I think Matheus Cunha wants to play for Manchester United. That's the important thing. And also he has this release clause in his contract, around £62 million. Now, if United decide to trigger that release clause, they're not going to be paying the £62 million up front. They will pay it in 3 instalments, each around £21 million. So that transfer fee will be paid over 3 years. I know United's finances aren't great at the moment. Obviously, like a lot of clubs as well, they have PSR concerns. They've missed out on the Champions League. That could cost them around £100 million in lost revenue. But players could be leaving. Manchester United is still a big, big club. They generate a lot of income. So I think they will be busy in the market this summer. But obviously, they are not going to be throwing money around. They have to be very, very careful when it comes to their spending.
Talk to me about one of their former players, Cristiano Ronaldo. Is he going to the Club World Cup?
Well, this is a really interesting story because Ronaldo plays for Al Nassr. His contract runs out at the end of next month. Last night he was playing for Al Nassr. Guess what? He scored again. I think his 800th career goal. But after the game, he put up this rather cryptic message on social media saying this chapter is over, the story continues, ? Now, the big question is he going to sign a new contract at Al Nassr? There have been lots of talks, no news yet. Or will he try and play in the Club World Cup next month? Now, FIFA have done everything possible to try and get all the world's big star players to play in this tournament. You've mentioned it. There's this special transfer window from the 1st of June to the 10th of June. So he could sign a short-term contract. For instance, he could sign for Al Ahly. They are playing in the Club World Cup. Riyadh rivals of Al Nassr, his present club, who are not playing in the Club World Cup. Other options, for instance, there's been lots of talk that he may move to the Brazilian club, Botafogo. Now, they became champions of South America for the first time in December. Lots of links in the Brazilian media with Ronaldo. That could be a possibility. Guess what? Some of his former clubs are also playing in the Club World Cup as well. Real Madrid, Juventus. So we know Lionel Messi is playing in the Club World Cup. Will we also have Cristiano Ronaldo playing in the Club World Cup? I think it's a real possibility now, depending on how you interpret his cryptic message on social media last night.
Obviously, if he goes, ticket sales will go through the roof. Is that what it's all about, to get him there?
You're so cynical, Mike. Every weekday around this time, you ask me a cynical question. But no. To be honest, you do make a very good point. FIFA have already got Lionel Messi into the tournament. Now, getting Ronaldo would be a major boost. I think he is probably up there with Lionel Messi in the United States as the most famous soccer player, as they would call him. It is an open secret. If you've got Cristiano Ronaldo playing in the Club World Cup, it would put more bums on seats. It would also get more people watching the tournament on TV. And last week, Gianni Infantino, in a very, very rare interview, the FIFA president did admit that he thought that there were quite a few clubs behind the scenes trying to sign Ronaldo for the Club World Cup.
I bet they are. Before you go, I want to talk Liverpool. Jeremy Frimpong, we've shown images of his private jet arriving. How close is that deal to being done?
Well, I mean, first of all, it feels a bit strange to be talking about transfers and Liverpool, considering what is happening in Liverpool at the moment. But Jeremy Frimpong has flown in to finalise his move to Liverpool. We can see pictures there of him flying in by private jet. Now, he will be Liverpool's first signing of the summer. He's a brilliant player. Bayer Leverkusen, he had this release clause in his contract, 35 million euros, which Liverpool have decided to activate. He plays predominantly as a right wing back, can also play further forward on the right wing. So some people are thinking he's coming in as a ready-made replacement for Trent Alexander-Arnold. I'm not so sure, because Liverpool have still got Conor Bradley as well.
And I think the two of them, players.
Yeah, different players, and I think the two of them could play in the same side. What I think we'll be talking about in the next few days is one of his teammates following him to Anfield.
Go on.
Florian Wirtz. We've been talking about the fact that Liverpool thought he was either going to stay at Bayer Leverkusen or move to Bayern Munich. Then at the end of last week, they started getting indications from his camp that he actually wants to come to Liverpool. Liverpool are now in talks with Bayer Leverkusen. Obviously, they've been in talks with Bayer Leverkusen as well over Jeremy Frimpong. I think the next few days we may well see developments about Florian Wirtz moving to Liverpool. And if that happens, that could be a British transfer record, because Bayer Leverkusen